The FBI agents, are they still currently, at the end of every week, emailing the 5 things that they've accomplished?
I'm glad you raised that point, sir. We never did that.
FBI agents were never asked to put in their goals in which they accomplished? Thank you, Director Patel. In a local situation in Mrvan, Indiana, within my district, I have a high-intensity drug trafficking area, HIDA, which receives federal funding. That works with the local law enforcement. We are the crossroads of America near Chicago. The drugs that you're talking about are transported through those areas all the time. With these budget cuts, can you talk about how those HIDA and agencies will be funded?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. It's like any other successful mission set that we have at the FBI. And HIDA, I worked on as a terrorism prosecutor as myself. Extremely critical because, like some of the other situations across the country, that region has been recognized, unfortunately, because of the high-intensity drug flow. And in order to countermand it, we have to keep these task forces open, up and running, and funded. But in order to do that, we can't just flood it only with federal funds and federal personnel committed to working with our state and local partners, because that's what makes HIDA successful. My experience in HIDA wasn't in your district, but down in the Southern District of Florida, and I can't imagine it being too different in terms of how we proceed and how to make that successful.
Okay. My next question is, just recently you had a visit to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Just please tell me how that cyber tip line and how that program's future looks with these $500 million cuts.
We actually partner wonderfully with NCMEC, and we've committed to allowing our FBI employees to remain there no matter what. We will find a way to fill that mission set, even if, even under the most austere of budget cuts, because what they do is exceptional. If people don't know, they need to go there and see it. It's right in Arlington, Virginia. They find missing children from 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, and they provide treatment to those that have been abused.
Okay.
And so you have my commitment, sir, that we'll do it.
I appreciate that. And according to the domestic terrorism operations sections, the internal tagging system used to track domestic terrorism investigations was eliminated, and the staff of 16 was reduced. Can you tell me that future and where you hold that program?
Sir, if I may, can I get back to you on that in writing, because I'm not familiar with that off my head.
Then in your written testimony, you had talked about cybersecurity. I'm going to tie 2 things together. The FBI agents, are they still currently, at the end of every week, emailing the 5 things that they've accomplished?
I'm glad you raised that point, sir. We never did that.
Okay.
I stopped
the
that.
FBI agents were never asked to put in their goals in which they accomplished?
The
reason why I say that is because I had a specific conversation at a retirement party of a chief from an agent who expressed to me that after he had chased a car down 8094 who had stabbed a family member, and he left his home and was able to prevent that individual from killing someone else because it was cross state lines, that he had to go back, and then that next day was told he had to fill out his emails of what he accomplished.
That email was sent across government agencies.
So it was sent to the FBI.
It was sent to.
So you just said it was never sent to the FBI. So was it or was it not?
It was sent to the FBI. I, as the director of the FBI, said we are not.
Who sent it?
We are not responding to it. It came from a general account at the department.
Okay, so then my next question is, that information that my FBI agent in my district sent to that agency, how is that information protected?
I'm sorry, are you saying the agent responded to that email?
Are you saying they did not?
I told the workforce not to.
But you just told me that they received the email.
We did.
So without this, let's just assume that they did. Where did that information go, and how is it protected?
That information would have only been sent to their immediate supervisor, and every supervisor in the Bureau was told if they received any such information, it is not to be actioned in any way.
So what happened with that information with the supervisors?
I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that, if any was collected, but if it was,
So you said that the FBI, that a different agency sent that email. What was that agency?
It came from the Department of Justice.
Okay. And those emails never went back to the Department of Justice who requested it?
No, sir.
Okay. And you're 100% confident of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The information that the supervisors had from those agents, where did that go?
That should not have been transmitted anywhere. We got on top of it fast enough where I believe, and
Because you thought it was wrong?
I thought
Why did you prevent it?
Because the operational mandate that we have at the Bureau, in my opinion, prohibited the public disclosure of that information across our media.
So to be perfectly clear, the Department of Justice got it wrong.
I'm not speaking for the Department of Justice. As
you are saying that that directive was in complete conflict of what your procedures and processes are.
My procedures and processes are under the Department of Justice. I'm saying as a subordinate of the Department of Justice. That's where the email came from. I don't know where it came from on top of them.
But your directive was to make sure that the Department of Justice did not get the FBI information,
That no one got it.
except the supervisors. Why would they request it if they would never get it?
Well, the supervisors were told to stand down. What I'm trying to say is, when that email came in, we acted as fast as we could, I think the same day, to say we are not in a position to do that. Everybody hit pause till we figure out what to do. And the end result was we at the FBI are not complying with that request to publicly do so. And we told agents that if you feel the need to express that information to your supervisors, only do so in the classified system.
Okay. The information that I received, that personal conversation that I had, that agent didn't seem like he felt the need. He felt it was a directive. I thank you for your forthcoming. I look forward to working with you. The purpose of me bringing up this questioning was to make sure that that information is secure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
I'll
very
double
much.
check.
When you watch this exchange between Congressman Frank Mrvan and Director Patel, what you're seeing is much bigger than just a back and forth over emails. You're seeing, in real time, how Democrats are fighting to hold agencies accountable while also protecting transparency, privacy, and the integrity of government institutions. Mrvan raised a critical point: federal funding for programs like HIDA, which help fight high-intensity drug trafficking zones. This is a major issue in his district, right at the crossroads of America, where drugs flowing through put families and communities at risk. Democrats are pushing to make sure these programs remain funded despite Republican-driven budget cuts that would devastate local law enforcement partnerships. These are not abstract numbers. They're about whether local cops, sheriffs, and federal agents have the resources they need to keep fentanyl and meth from destroying families. Then, Mrvan went further, focusing on something that should alarm every single American: reports that FBI agents were being told to send emails summarizing their accomplishments to outside agencies. Now, why does this matter? Because it's about data security, operational integrity, and the safety of communities. Imagine agents on the ground, in the middle of life or death situations, being forced to write reports that could potentially land in the wrong hands. That's not oversight, that's dangerous. Director Patel admitted that the directive didn't come from the FBI itself, but from the Department of Justice. And here's the kicker: he flat out said the order was wrong. The FBI had to step in and block it to protect agents and the public. Think about that. Our law enforcement officials had to waste time untangling bureaucratic confusion from Trump-era DOJ directives instead of focusing on keeping people safe. What Mrvan was doing here was critical. He was pressing Patel on accountability. Who sent it? Where did the data go? How was it protected? And Patel had to admit he didn't know all the answers, which tells you how reckless and sloppy that directive really was. Democrats like Mrvan are shining light on this because sunlight is the best disinfectant. Republicans talk about law and order, but when it comes to protecting the integrity of investigations, their reckless moves put agents and Americans at risk. This exchange shows the real difference between the two parties. Democrats want oversight, accountability, and funding for the programs that actually protect families. Republicans want to slash budgets, gut institutions, and then cry about government failure when their own cuts cause the problem. And let's not miss the human side of this. Mrvan shared a story of an FBI agent who had literally risked his life stopping a violent criminal, chasing someone across state lines to save another person's life. And after all of that, the agent was told to go back and fill out a pointless email. That's what happens when politics interferes with real law enforcement. These aren't just statistics, they're people's lives. This is why Democrats keep pushing these issues, because at the end of the day, protecting children from trafficking, keeping drugs off our streets, and defending the safety of our communities matters more than partisan games. And Democrats are showing, once again, that we are the party willing to do the hard work of oversight and accountability, not just sound bites. So when you see Republicans trying to undermine these institutions, remember, this is what Democrats are fighting for: real oversight, real accountability, and real protection for American families. Stay informed, stay engaged, and don't let the noise drown out the truth. Because what you just saw wasn't just a tense exchange, it was a Democrat fighting to make sure our government works the way it's supposed to, for the people. Call it out, share it, and remind folks accountability isn't partisan, it's democracy.